Guys, listen, when I was 18 years old, I was living out of my car with my girlfriend, who is now my wife. And I was basically homeless. I had no money to my name, maybe a few $100s. And within 1 year, I was able to get us out of that situation, along with her help, of course. She was a big help. But I was able to get us out of that situation, and we were able to get into our own place and get our finances together, get everything situated. And I went from a place of almost being homeless, having no money, to living in a 2-bedroom house. That was rented, of course. It wasn't bought or anything, but it was rented. And I was able to work my way out of it. And I attribute all this success to 7 habits I'm going to be talking about in this video today. I'm going to be sharing those 7 habits with you, going into detail on how I was able to work my way out of that situation and turn my life around basically at such a young age and set myself up for success in the future, and just being consistent and staying motivated throughout it all. Because trust me, there were so many times that I just wanted to give up. There were so many times that I was failing at something and I didn't see a way out of it. But there's always a way out of it at the end, and I'm going to be discussing that in this video today. And guys, listen, I just want to ask, if you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. You don't have to subscribe right now. I encourage you to watch the video first. If you feel like you got any value from it, please subscribe after that. And if you wouldn't mind liking as well. And if you have any thoughts or any opinions, drop it in the comments, and let's get in the video. So the first habit of the 7 is not doom scrolling. And for those of you who don't know what doom scrolling is, it's TikTok, it's Instagram Reels, it's YouTube Shorts, it's Snapchat Spotlight. If you're, older, it would be like Vine or something, I don't know. But listen, it's where you go on your phone and you just scroll for hours upon a time. And for some reason in my generation, if you're of my age, I'm 22 years old. If you're of my age, younger, a little bit older, everyone does this. It's almost an epidemic, I would say. And it is absolutely terrible because this takes away from your productivity, because it releases the dopamine in your brain, which is like a feel-good natural drug that our brain releases. And these apps are so addicting. You can get on there at 5 p.m. and just start swiping and swiping and swiping. And by 9 p.m., you're like, where did my time go? It felt like 5 seconds that you were on there, but in reality, you were on there like 4 hours, right? And I don't do that anymore. It was one of the hardest habits that I had to break, and thankfully I broke it. I mean, I just pushed through it, and I pretty much would like kind of wean myself off of it. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but if you don't struggle with this, or you don't struggle with any type of an addiction, because it basically is an addiction, I would say. If you don't struggle with anything like that, you may not understand, but I kind of would just wean myself off of it. I would say, okay, 30 minutes today. That's how much time I get to scroll on my phone, and then I have to get off. And if you have a friend or a spouse or someone who can hold you accountable, I would get an accountability partner. My wife, she held me accountable. She always holds me accountable to everything. I tell her, like, hey, watch out for me, make sure that I'm not scrolling on my phone for more than 30 minutes today. I would do that for 2 weeks. Next week, or 2 weeks later, I would say, make sure I'm not scrolling on my phone for more than 15 minutes today. Hold me accountable to that, and she would. So if you could get an accountability partner, I would recommend that. If not, you can go in your settings on your phone, and you can limit the amount of time you're allowed to spend on these apps. But yeah, not doom scrolling is the first of the 7 habits that absolutely changed my life in 1 year and helped me from getting out of that situation I was in. Guys, the second habit of the 7 is simply going to the gym. Now listen, I'm not going to spend too long on this one because it's pretty straightforward, but there's just something about going to the gym and being consistent with it. I mean consistent with it. If you're going to go twice a week, make sure you go twice a week. If you're going to go 3 times a week, make sure you're going to go 3 times a week. Just stay consistent with it. And there's something about staying consistent in going to the gym, staying disciplined in going to the gym, that just applies to the rest of your life. There's just something about it, and you'll see difference in your finances. You'll see difference in your mood. I'm a happier person now that I go to the gym. I go 6 times a week. I take off Wednesdays, which is today, and I try to go 6 times a week. If I don't go, sometimes I don't go on Sundays. I'll go play tennis with my wife. I'll go for a run, what have you, right? But I try to go 6 times a week, and I stay consistent with it. And I've noticed that in other aspects of my life, I've just been more consistent overall, because if you're going to the gym often, you're going into a situation that just makes you uncomfortable, because nobody likes going to the gym and just lifting weights, and it's painful. The only way you can get better is if you keep showing up. And like I said, there's just something about that. You have to try it to understand, and I highly recommend, if you want to change your life in a year, start going to the gym as soon as possible. Guys, the third habit that absolutely changed my life in a year, this one was probably the biggest one that changed my life in a year, and that is side hustles, guys. Earning more money. Just as simple as that. This absolutely was probably the #1 factor on why I worked out of that situation, of how I got out of my car, how we got into our own place, and it's just earning more money. I was only earning like $14 an hour when I was 18 years old. I was only earning $14 an hour. And so I had to, get out of that situation. #1 thing is I got a better paying job. That was the first thing that I did. And then as soon as I got at that better paying job, I started doing Uber. As soon as I started doing Uber, I would sign up for like DoorDash. I would sign up for Grubhub, and then of course Walmart Spark. And then after Walmart Spark, I would sign up for different side hustle apps like Join Brands and what have you. And I would do all these little side hustles, like even picking up dog poop. Some people don't even think about that, but yes, I would pick up dog poop as a side hustle to earn extra money. It's actually a pretty good business idea. You should check that one out. But I would do all these little things to make extra money. And, this was probably the most beneficial thing for my finances. And it just absolutely changed my life by making more money, doing these little side hustles. And guys, listen, if you need a list of side hustles, I just made a video on 8 side hustles that I do. It'll be the first link in the description below. Go check out that video if you need side hustles. And then, of course, come back to this video and finish. But yeah, I highly recommend you get a side hustle if you want to change your life in a year. Guys, the 4th habit that I used to change my life in a year was not drinking alcohol and not doing drugs. I'm talking about, of course, like weed and stuff like that. I don't smoke weed, I don't drink alcohol, and there's a variety of reasons. Not only is alcohol, it's quite literally poison for your brain. And if you smoke weed or something like that, a lot of people, they get munchies, and it just I feel like it makes you unproductive. Not only that, but you're spending money on this stuff, guys. You're literally spending money and smoking it away. I don't vape, I don't smoke cigarettes, I don't do nothing like that. And now listen, I know some people out there really struggle with this. I know it's an addiction. Alcohol can be an addiction. You could be an alcoholic, and listen, I understand that. And of course, I would recommend seeking professional help if you struggle with it. But if you're just drinking for fun, say you drink a beer once a night with dinner, you drink some beer on the weekend. Now listen, guys, I have to tell you this, but you gotta stop. If you want to change your life in a year, you have to stop. I'm not opposed to having fun on holidays. I'm not opposed to, drinking every now and again if you want to feel good. I'm not opposed to smoking a little weed if you want to feel good. Hey, I'm from California. I get it, right? But listen, you can't be spending all of your money on this stuff and wondering why you're still in the same place you were a year ago. So if you want to change your life, I highly recommend that you get rid of the alcohol, and I also recommend that you stop smoking weed. Guys, the 5th habit that helped change my life in a year kind of goes back to going to the gym. It's along the same lines, but that is pushing myself out of my comfort zone. This right here, recording this YouTube video, is me pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Believe it or not, I'm still not all that comfortable on camera. I've been on YouTube for a very long time, but used to I would only make gaming videos. And so I really just try to push myself out of my comfort zone in a variety of ways, whether that be on camera right here. You could even try taking cold showers like I did. There's other ways you can push yourself out of your comfort zone besides going to the gym and recording YouTube videos. But I highly recommend you guys just push yourself out of your comfort zone, because there's just something about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, and it really makes you more confident. It makes you more confident, and it shows to other people that you're not afraid of being in an uncomfortable situation. You're not afraid of pushing yourself, right? So I highly recommend, just like I said, push yourself out of your comfort zone and really just work through those problems. That way later on in life, when there's a challenge, you're able to tackle that challenge, guys. And again, if you want to change your life, you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Guys, apparently Hopper wanted to join me again, so just ignore her. She's going to be hanging out right there. But hey, the sixth habit that changed my life in a year was simply checking my finances every single month and knowing how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. It's going to be a split ways on this sixth habit that changed my life, and that's also living below my means. What that pretty much means is you have this money coming in, right? And say you got $10,000 a month coming in, and you're spending $11,000 a month. You're living above your means now. But hey, if you're spending $8,000 a month, but you have that $10,000 a month coming in, you'll be fine, because you have a $2,000 a month buffer right there that you're now living below your means. And pretty much, in order to build wealth, in order to truly change your life, especially in 1 year, you have to live below your means. And in order to keep track of this, you gotta check your finances. I check them once a month. When I was first starting out, I was in them every single day. Now listen, I'm not saying I don't pay attention to my bank account. I check my bank account every single day, and I know if there's a faulty transaction in there, but I'm not checking my net worth every single day. I check my net worth once a month. I know how much money is coming in. I know how much money I saved the previous month. I know how much money that I made the previous month. And I also write down what I'm projecting to make the next month. That way I have that vision. Okay, you got to have that vision for the next month, and you really got to know where you want to go and what you want to do with your finances, and you got to keep track of what's going on in your net worth, what's going on with your bank account, what's going on with how much debt you have. You got to pay off your debt as well. So if you want to change your life, you have to live below your means, and you absolutely have to do this one. You have to check your finances every single month. All right, guys. Hey, if you made it to number 7, thank you very much. And if you did make it this far in the video, comment number 7 below and let me know you actually made it this far. Don't comment that if you just skipped to the end, but comment it if you actually genuinely made it this far. I really appreciate you. Shout out to you. But hey, listen, guys, some of you guys may not like this next one, but honestly, frankly, I'm sorry. I really am sorry, but that is going to church. Guys, listen, this is about what changed my life in a year. What changes your life may be a little bit different, but if you want to change your life in a year, you got to go to church, guys. And honestly, this one is the most important on the list, for me anyways, because I was able to completely change my life in a year just by getting into church, by having faith, guys. I had faith that I would get out of that situation, and I prayed about it. I prayed about it so hard that I would get out of that situation. Look at me now, guys. I'm out of that situation. And along with all the other habits, along with staying consistent, going to church every single week, reading the Bible, praying about it, talking to God, guys, getting saved, guys, I was able to work my way out of that situation in a year's time, guys. And honestly, I know some of you guys out there are not going to like this, but you got to go to church if you want to change your life in a year. Hey guys, listen, if you watched until the end of this video, thank you very much. And like I said in the beginning, if you got any value from this video, please consider subscribing, like the video, and comment below. Let me know that you watched all the way, and let me know what you thought about the video, guys. I know some of you aren't going to like the last one there, but hey, I had to say it, guys. And hey, Thank you very much for watching this video. It absolutely means the world to me. There has been so much support on my videos recently, and honestly, it's really making me happy, guys. It puts a smile on my face. It motivates me to stay consistent with this, and hey, I really hope you guys are getting value from my videos. I hope I'm able to provide that to you guys. But what do I know, guys? I'm just a guy recording on an iPhone right now. But hey, thank you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next video.